Welcome to Confessions of a Stenographer, where we are focusing on all things steno and the legal profession. Thanks for tuning in. I am your host, Shaunise Day, founder of Steno in the City, the Steno Experience, where we promote the profession through career fairs online via Zoom. Good evening, steno lovers. I hope you all are doing well and staying safe out there. Oh my goodness. We are in the last few weeks of 2021, and let's be sure to close out on a good note. To my test takers, I am rooting for you. Oh my goodness. One more week, and with that whole retention policy. So, for those that are still testing, I am rooting for you. You got this. You can do it. And ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, it has been such a long week. This past Friday, we promoted our profession via Zoom to a high school in South Philly. I want to give a special shout out to the reporters that volunteered their time to promote the profession with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was well received. Yes, it was. I think we did, 2 full classes, and the classes were long. It was great. So again, I just thank you all for participating. Our next guest participated in one of our virtual career fairs last year. So last year was actually the first start of, kicking off the Steno experience with promoting the profession through career fairs. So we did that last year. We had 4 fairs last year, and we did just 2 classes this time. So yes, our next guest, she participated in a virtual career fair last year. And not only did the Steno lover participate in that fair, she also was a part of one of the first Steno TikToks to hit the internet. That's right. Last year during the pandemic, I pitched an idea to my Steno friends to see if they wanted to participate in the Don't Rush Challenge. And oh my goodness, what a great collaboration that was. That TikTok, it did wonders as we promoted our profession. Because of that video, we had one reporter she landed a job as an official. Another reporter was booked and busy and gained a new client during a pandemic. So yeah, she was paid and booked and busy during the pandemic because of that video. And then we had a few prospects that were interested in the profession. And as I always say on just about every episode, as technology evolves, so will Steno. However, it is up to us to make sure that we are staying relevant. It is up to us to push and promote Steno. That's something that we as a Steno community have to do. It's so important that we stay relative. It is so important that we step up our game when it comes to advertising and marketing. This is like a big piece of the puzzle that is missing within our profession. And I pray that eventually we can step it up, take it up a few notches and just promote like never before. Now, as I mentioned on the previous episode, I posted it online. Save the date for Steno in the City 2. We'll be in Houston, Texas, March 24th through the 26th. And I'll continue to get into more details about it. But while we're talking about the advertising and marketing and promoting, not only are we going to have a fabulous time during this weekend as far as networking, seminars, we have guest speakers, it's just going to be a really great time, but we are going to promote during this weekend on a global level. I am working behind the scenes with, a few colleagues, and we're working it out, but just trust me, we are going to promote like never before. So stay tuned with more information. Now, speaking of our next guest, and when I say how we need to stay relevant and promote, this next game changer is really changing the game when it comes to promoting our profession. She is creating videos, IG reels, adding in humor on what we go through within a profession. At times, she also will do a Q&A just to get us active on social media. She is really doing her thing. I am so proud to call this next guest my friend and my sister. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the sassy reporter, aka Stephanie Hicks. Hey, Stephanie, welcome to the podcast. Are you ready to confess or what?
Yes, of course.
Okay, let's do this. So tell us, who is Stephanie Hicks? Where were you born and raised? And if you can just give us a brief description of who you are.
Okay, so obviously I'm Stephanie Hicks. I'm just a city girl, born and raised in New York, in the Bronx to be specific. Three sisters, one brother, really tight-knit family. So I actually am still very family-oriented, close to my parents, my siblings. I'm just a creative soul, very sarcastic. As you'll figure out, like try to see the humor in everything. I try not to take anything too seriously, just like a tiny woman, big personality. That's me.
Yes, we just love you so much. How did you discover steno? Did you have a dream job or did you consider going to a 4-year university or a trade school?
Well, interestingly enough, I actually did go to college. So straight out of high school, I went to college in Boston for 5 years because we had to do a 1-year internship to complete the program. So I actually have a bachelor's of science in international business and took a job out of school, hated it. So I didn't hate it at first, but within 9 months, I realized that's not what I wanted to do. During that time, my youngest sister actually was in court reporting school, and our mother is the person who had introduced her to that. I'm not sure where she got the idea, but over the course of me trying to figure out what I wanted to do and watching my sister go through school, I ended up going to an open house the fall or maybe the summer after I quit my job. And I was a serial server in college, and even out of college. So I wanted to do something else. And after attending the open house, I just was immediately intrigued, hearing the court reporters that were working already, how they had described their experience, seeing the machine, the enthusiasm. I was just excited, and I started that fall.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so you went to a brick and mortar. You didn't do any type of online schooling at all, right?
I didn't do online at all. The school I went to was in White Plains, New York. So It took about 2 years, and from start to finish, I was in person. It was full time. So I did the day program, Monday to Friday. I believe we ended around noon. So it was a morning program. And as I said, it took about 2 years to finish. So we did theory, and then there were speed building classes. And as we passed the test, we moved on to the next class, I'll say. And ultimately, I graduated at the required 225 speed.
Right. Okay. So after school and entering the real world, what was that like? Did you have a mentor to assist in the business side of being a reporter? Just give us like a little rundown of you completed school into the real world. Did you go into freelance or did you go into court? What did you do?
So when I got my certificate and graduated school, my school unfortunately didn't require any kind of internship to complete the requirements to get certified from the school. So after graduating is when I sat in with my first agency. It was a Brooklyn agency. It was interesting to see how it worked in the real world, but I do wish I had gotten that experience while in school. After sitting in for a few months, I did tell them I felt like I was ready to start working, but they didn't have any work for me. So I wound up joining an agency getting hired by an agency in Manhattan, Lex Reporting. And I was very, very happy with them. They described themselves as a training agency as far as I'm aware. So they enjoyed taking on reporters straight out of school so they could teach them their process and how they wanted things done. And I appreciated that because it turned out that I only worked for Lex for my entire freelance career. I only freelanced for 3 years and I always got work from them. It was a little scary at first because I learned everything on the job, but they were, like I said, they were so helpful. Like I learned to swear in the witness from the person I was sitting in with, marking exhibits, how to format the transcripts. I just sent it to Lex and they put everything together. It was a great first experience. And it kept me freelancing because I enjoyed it, because they just stuck with me and I grew with them.
Great. That is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick commercial break. Please stay tuned because we have so much more coming up with Stephanie. Hey, Steno lovers, it's that time again. Steno in the City 2 is going to Houston, Texas. Save the date because you are not going to want to miss this mid-year conference. Dates are March 24th through the 26th of next year, so for 2022. Let me just say this, okay? Day one, we will have our networking mixer done, Steno in the City style. We will have our judges, attorneys, paralegals, law students, court reporting agencies, all in one room. Can you imagine that? We will network, educate, and celebrate who we are and what we do. This is no ordinary steno mixer. No. We are rolling out the red carpet, so get ready to have a great time. Now, that is just day one. I'm not going to even mention that we may have a live band on hand, right? I am working behind the scenes to make all of this happen, and I am also creating a Steno in the City team who is going to assist, which is making this a wonderful weekend for you. Day 2 and 3, details will follow soon, but I can tell you that all-star lineup for our keynote speakers. Oh my goodness, wait until you hear the lineup for our keynote speakers. It will definitely be steno related, but this all-star team is going to come in and just blow the roof off the building. And the seminars that we have planned is going to just blow your mind. We have some amazing people that will be presenting, so get ready. We will have a weekend full of learning, networking, and advocating for our profession. But wait, oh my goodness, there is so much more. Wait until you find out how we are going to promote our profession during this weekend. This is on a global level, so just get ready. I'm so excited and fired up about this weekend. We are going to represent and show the world who we are and what we do. We have so many things planned, just trust me on this. Again, dates are March 24th through the 26th. Don't miss out. Please be sure to follow the Facebook Steno in the City page to stay up to date in regards to this weekend, and we are also on Instagram and Twitter. So save the date, March 24th through the 26th. Hope to see you there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Stephanie Hicks, and now the courtroom. Stephanie, landing your first courtroom position as an official, what was that like?
It was very exciting. I took the state exam, the New York court reporter exam for lower court, which is criminal court. I believe it was maybe around 2015. I don't exactly remember, but I know that I failed because I did not practice. I was freelancing and I think I just decided to wing it. I was like, let me see how I do. Maybe I'll get into court. That's not the way to go, because I took it again in 2017 and I passed with flying colors, and it was a whole different way of preparing. So at that point, I was working in the DA's office in the Bronx for the grand jury, taking down testimony and proceedings in the grand jury. And because they gave the test on a specific date, a lot of people from my office were taking the test. So we actually studied together, we practiced together, and I attribute that 100% to why I did so well in the test. So once I landed the job, it was amazing. And I think I started with a couple people that I worked with, and it was just a big accomplishment in my career thus far. Well, it was one of the biggest accomplishments. At that point, it was my biggest accomplishment.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And just hearing you say, that whole grand jury, exciting. Any recommendations for new reporters that are considering going into court?
I would say to definitely make it a goal. I love being in court so much. As a new reporter, I would definitely, whether you can do it in school or right out of school, try to sit in on some court proceedings, because I feel like once you see how it is to actually be in the midst of it, it will either spark your interest or you might discover that that's not the route you want to go. So I'm a big advocate for court, but it's not for everyone. But I would definitely say to try to sit in.
Right. And I have a few friends where right after school, waiting for their RPR, there are certain states that will allow you to sit in until you become certified. I want to say they do it in Colorado. I'm not sure of any other states, but I have a friend. Hey, Callie Ray. So what she did was she was hired by the court, and within 2 years, she was able to obtain her RPR, and she's still at that court. So um, yes to court work. What are some of the benefits of being an official?
I mean, not hands down, but I freelanced and then I went into court. So having paid time off is a blessing. I have a child and sometimes I can't go in, which is rare, but being able to take vacation and get paid for it, that's a big perk. Being able to look forward to retirement. When you're an official, you get a pension. I mean, I work in New York State. I've never worked anywhere else. So this is all from my perspective. I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's maybe very similar everywhere else. But I also love having coworkers. When you freelance and you go to a different location every day, it can be interesting, but I like that I go into work and I've built some of the strongest bonds ever with my coworkers. So I enjoy that. Sitting in on trials. Well, not sitting in, I'm working, but being in the middle of trial is so exciting. Getting a salary is great. And then just the real life experience for being in the courtroom. I watch a lot of crime shows. So it's like I work in criminal court. So it's just, it all ties together. And I just love everything that I do.
Right. So back to the pension. Do you get does your pension start on or your benefits? Does it start on the first day that you're hired, or do you have to go through a probationary period, 90 days, or how does that work?
I'm pretty sure we are technically in a probationary period for a year when we first start in court, but I definitely had benefits before then. I believe it's 90 days. Don't quote me. I believe 90 days from your hire date, but I know there's a 1 year probationary period as well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. What's in your steno bag? What is in your steno bag? I know this question went around several years ago where people was, naming what's in their steno bag. So what is in your bag?
Honestly, I don't have much in my steno bag. I mean, currently I have a Luminex and I love my Luminex. I don't have a bag on wheels. I have the bag just with the handle. So it's very lightweight. All I keep in the steno bag is my Luminex and the accessories that it came with. And I have a couple of packs of exhibit stickers, a pen, of course. And then in court, we usually give a stamp with our name on it to the clerk so they can stamp all the cases and all the paperwork that we were the reporter. So when something's ordered, they know who to order it from. And that's about it. My laptop, I keep in like a tote bag on my shoulder. And that's how I go into court every day. I just pack my machine up and it's very lightweight too. Easy breezy.
Do you take your machine home on the weekends, or because I know, do you practice? How are you practicing? Do you practice at work or do you take your machine home? How does that go?
So because I am in court Monday through Friday, unless I'm on reserve or at my desk, I tend to be assigned to one courtroom for the week. So I do not take my machine home on a daily basis. I actually don't even take it out of the courtroom. I just hide it so it's in a safe location. And then I pack it up at the end of the week. The only time I practice is if I'm taking a test, to be honest, like a skills test. I feel like I get enough writing practice in court as far as keeping my fingers moving. I do take it home though. I will practice for a test because the material is different, especially for like a Q&A or it's just in court, you hear a lot of the same terminology and everything. But if I do want to practice, I'll take my machine out. I'll practice at my desk. Or if I had to work a weekend shift, I obviously have to take my machine out of, the cubicle and take it to the next courtroom for the weekend.
Yes. You recently moved up and now have a new title. Would you like to share your new role in the courthouse?
Oh, well, yes. And it's super exciting. Very, very recent. I got the call finally for a senior court reporter position in the same courthouse that I work in. So it's a big move, but not going far. So it's, a higher salary. I get to do felony trials and cases versus the
Yes.
misdemeanor cases. I'm very, very excited. I've been waiting a couple of years for this. I took the test pretty shortly after I got hired in criminal court. I took the Supreme Court test, and they just called me. They reached the number on the list, and I'm starting in a little less than a month.
Congratulations. We are all so
Thank you.
proud of you. You're just doing some great things for our profession. Now, okay, so we know that you love court. Later on, do you ever think that you would go back into freelance?
So as an initial response, I would say no. Until retirement, I will be in court, God willing. I love court. I would like to retire from court. After I retire, I cannot say that I would not want to stay in the field and do a little bit of freelance work. So I don't want to rule it out 100%. But as far as going back full time, no, I do not have the discipline to save for retirement or to set my tax money to the side or budget for like vacation and things like that. I like that someone, in a sense, is doing that for me. So I will stay in court and let them handle all of that.
Right. Okay, moving on. Certs matter. So in May, I started a campaign since it was, the month that we celebrate certification. And I came up with the campaign of Certs Matter. We had reporters wearing the shirts and just to push the message that certs matter. How important is certification to you?
Well, first, I want to say I love being certified. So I feel like it took the pandemic for me to make it a goal. In New York, it's not required. So I feel like I never made it a priority. You can work in New York without your RPR. And there's so much work. So it's more like a personal choice to get it. And also, if I ever wanted to leave the state, it makes it easier to work anywhere else. But I think certification is really important. It sets you apart, and it gives you a sense of pride in your career. So to me, it's not that the reporter sitting next to me can't have their RPR, but like I actually took the steps to make it happen. So it's just something to be very proud of. And I think if you can try to take a crack at it, I feel like everyone should at least attempt it. It's definitely attainable. It feels good to have it.
Right. So what cert do you have and what cert are you currently working on?
So I took the RPR in 2020, I believe in October, or I got my results in October. I don't remember, but I do have my RPR, and I'm going for the RMR. I took one leg so far, which was the lit, and I'm going for the jury next month, and I'm saving that 260 Q&A for last. But the RPR is what I have so far.
Okay, and you passed the literary for the RMR, right?
Yes, I passed the literary. I did actually take it twice. The first time I took it, did not practice. I'm telling you, practice is key. You may think you'll just get it, but I tried it the first time and nerves can get the best of you. So I passed it the second time.
Yes, congratulations. And we are coming up on our new testing cycle. The last one before that, retention policy kicks in. For those that are dealing with test anxiety and, again, that new testing cycle is coming up. Do you have any words of encouragement that you would like to share?
Well, I mean, there's no denying that testing is nerve-wracking. Like, as much confidence as anyone, including myself, gives off, as soon as they say ready, begin, I feel like I panic for half a second because you have one shot, 5 minutes to pass this test, but you can do it. So I mean, it's easy to say, but don't let your nerves psych you out.
Right.
I say just register for the test. I feel like that's the first step, because once you register, you have X amount of time to prepare for the test. So if you don't register, then it's just like no pressure. So definitely register. And then once you pick your date for your test, practice. Don't stress yourself out over practicing, but like definitely make sure you're in the speed mindset and your fingers are moving. And I tend to close my eyes when I take tests to focus. Some people say pick a spot in the room and focus on that spot. For me, it's easier just to close my eyes. close my eyes when I feel my heart start racing a little bit, just take a deep breath, and then just focus on dropping and picking up instantly. You get stuck on something, let it go. Don't try to catch up. Don't try to correct yourself. Just pick it up, drop and pick up.
Right. My last test, I remember I was looking at a lemon and I just knew that I was going to pass this test. I was speaking it into existence an hour before, sat down, I was ready to go, and I'm just doing it. And then what tripped me out is I started celebrating too soon in my head, like, oh my goodness, I'm getting this. Oh my goodness, finally, it's going to happen. And a word popped up and oh my goodness, there goes the test.
So I can see that.
So to all of the test takers that are coming up for this next testing cycle, we are wishing you the best. You can do this. It's just another test and you are going to pass it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take another commercial break. Stay tuned because we are coming back with more with Stephanie Hicks. Ladies and gentlemen, save the date. Steno in the City of Houston will take place March 24th through the 26th. More details will release soon. At a time like this, where so much is going on in our profession on so many levels, it's time to get together and figure out ways to further our profession. Remember, we are one team with one goal. It's time to get as many boots on the ground and do what is necessary to save our profession. Hope to see you March 24th through the 26th in Houston, Texas. Welcome back, Steno lovers. We are here with the lovely Stephanie Hicks. Stephanie, would you like to add anything else to the podcast that we have covered so far?
Not that I can think of, honestly. I mean, as we talk, I probably can jump in and, I usually tend to just say whatever comes to the top of my head. So I think we can continue.
Okay. So we are moving on to promoting our profession. In this area, this is one of the top ways that is going to save us. The Steno Experience, that is a brand that I created, and that's to promote the profession through career fairs. And as soon as we can get back to in person, we'll, be promoting to the public. During the pandemic, Stephanie, you participated in one of the career fairs that were online. You participated in the Teen Girls session that was held out of, Dallas. What was that like being around other reporters and promoting the profession to the public?
Well, to me, there's nothing like being in a room with people who are just as passionate about something you are passionate about. So just hearing the excitement, the different experiences that people have in court reporting, it makes me happy. And answering questions from the girls and anyone that's just interested and just knowing my answers may influence them to pursue something that I know is like an amazing career choice. Like I said, it makes me happy. It makes me feel good. When I was a teen, I know I had no clue what I wanted to do. When I went to college, I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. But the career fair is about like sparking interest. And even if I don't get a reaction from someone, I just try to maintain my enthusiasm because it'll probably make a long lasting impact because they can always go back and be like, oh, hey, I remember when she was talking about court reporting. And that's what I hope resonates with people later on.
Yes. So last year during the pandemic, so for some that don't know, during the pandemic, even before, the whole COVID thing, I was dealing with something that was just extremely hard for me. So I was looking for distractions. My grandmother had passed and she had passed in December. And I pretty much had to take some time off to just realize that, she would no longer be here with me anymore. So what I did, anything relating to steno, it was just like my special world. So I remember gathering my friends to participate in the Don't Rush Challenge. I saw all of, a few other professions promoting their field and what they do. And of course, a light bulb went out. Let's get our stenographers involved. And I just think that whenever I see other professions doing something, we should be doing it too, right? So
I agree. Yes.
Yes, right. The Don't Rush Challenge. And this is when, we didn't really have any steno TikToks out there. I reached out to Danae, you, a
Yes,
few
my girl.
others.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And so I'll always get Danae on the phone and I'll be like, look, you want to do this? And between you and her and just these TikTok videos and knowing how to put them together, because that's not my strength, right? We made a beautiful, beautiful video, right? So tell us, what was that? Share with the listeners about that experience.
Well, I've always been into selfies. I don't know what it is. I like to take pictures. I like to take video. I'm pretty good at editing. I've always just had like a knack for it, and it's fun just to pass the time. That was the first steno TikTok I had ever made. I didn't really spend any time on TikTok. My daughter at the time was about 7 or 8, and she would try to do some of the dances. So I would just look at her. Then when you contacted me, I was like, you know what? That's to me, it's simple. I don't want to minimize it, but I find making TikToks very easy. So I was like, yeah, this is cool. So when Danae asked me, actually, yeah, I think it was Danae that had contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do it between the two of you. And I was just like, why not add steno to videos? Like, it's a no-brainer. And then connecting online with people that I never met in person. And then I just feel like I just know people that I've never met. Like, I know Shakara was in the video, a few other people. And then I loved the song. So it just all worked together very nice. And I played that video a million times.
Right. I still go and listen to that video. I love the song and I just love what we did. Not only that, we were in a pandemic, and I can recall what Danae said on her episode. I think she's on episode 7. During the pandemic, and off of that video, people were reaching out to her for jobs. So she was able to pick up jobs during the pandemic, right? All because of that video. We have another reporter who landed a position in a courthouse because of that video.
That's amazing.
So just with promoting online, amazing, right? So you guys did a great job with promoting the profession. And of course, with people reaching out, do you guys have programs? Where are the schools? So shout out to you guys for just being amazing and being a part of that video. Again, it's just all about promoting our profession, staying on top of technology, being in the know, bringing steno to the forefront and not in the background, and just always just being so quiet and hush hush. It's just time to just take steno everywhere. Right now, as I speak, Isaiah and Stan, they are at the EDC Music Festival in Vegas. It's the second largest music festival under Coachella, right? Who would have thought that you would have stenographers captioning a music festival, right? So steno game changers are definitely doing something with just promoting our profession on a whole new level. Now, with you are doing some amazing things too, with taking our profession to another level, adding value. You now are doing your TikTok videos every single day. When I tell you, if I just want to go to your page and just look at videos, I'll just go because they are the best. You are just so on point with what you're doing with your platform. Can you go ahead and just explain and share what got you into just now, putting out content like every day?
To be honest, I don't know exactly what started how it started. I don't know. I know after I got my RPR, I feel like a light bulb just went off in my head. Like, because we have to maintain CEUs and be so involved in the field once you get that certification, I think it just lit a fire under me that I knew I had to do some things. And it started out after I got the RPR, I heard an audio clip, and then it tied somehow to taking the test. That was the first video. And then I was trying to make my page aesthetically pleasing. So I started doing the grid with the steno phrases at the same time. And I just thought it looked so cute. Honestly, I was just like, this looks good. So then I was like, I need another video. I was trying to alternate the pattern on my page. And then I love the camera, so I didn't mind. Like, I just feature myself in every video, and I'm very creative. So, not to toot my own horn, but I'm constantly coming up with new ideas. My phone's always in my hand. And then people were actually liking it, loving, they were sharing it. I was like, this is cool. Like, honestly, that's not what I expected to happen. I did not think people would like it, but I was also surprised by how much people were enjoying what I was putting out. So it's like natural. So also, I've been trying to get my niece to look into court reporting. She's fresh out of high school. She graduated when the pandemic hit. I felt so bad for her. Because I'm like, what a crucial time in your life to try to figure out what you want to do, you want to go to college, all of these things. So, of course, I'm trying to push court reporting. She's not into it at the moment, but I was like, what do young people like? And they're always on their phone, social media. So I'm like, it was just a natural progression. I was like, I'm always on my phone. Let me do some things that are trending and apply it to court reporting. So now people who never even heard of court reporting are intrigued. Like, I get messages like, how can I start school, or what should I be doing to find out more about the field? And then even people in school, they ask me for advice, or they just share, comment, same thing. And then people who are already working, I feel like it's what better thing to do than laugh at the things you usually get frustrated about, or the things that give you a headache at the end of the job, and you can laugh about it. So and now I'm just on a roll. Now I can't stop. And I know some people are like, they don't even think I go into court, but I do. I do work. I have time, because it does not take long. Like, I feel like I've been doing it now. I do it it's a constant thing. So it literally takes about 5 minutes, and it's just, I don't know when I'm going to stop, and I probably won't stop.
Yes, please don't stop. We enjoy you. You have great content. It makes sense. We laugh. Like, oh my goodness. I have a few of my top videos where I will still go back and just listen to it. Especially when you did the one with and it's from my city, that whole E40 and T-shirt, tell me when to go. Like,
oh,
I kept playing it over and over.
I think I was gonna say, the audio clips are usually, that's the inspiration. Like, I hear something that catches my attention, and I'm like, I need to apply that, because it'll catch someone's attention. And then when they see what it's actually about, I feel like that's what draws people in. So that's the key.
Now, when you so I'll also notice it'll be like a new TikTok challenge. Like, are those rolled out on TikTok automatically, and then you can say, okay, let me go ahead and change this into steno? Is that how how do you know when a new challenge is going to come out, and then you want to go ahead and make it steno?
So honestly, I wish I had the foresight to know what was going to be trending, but I just tend to spend a lot of my free time scrolling through the reels. Like, I don't use TikTok. I use Instagram. I use Instagram and go through the reels, and they actually have a little symbol on the trending audio. So it's not like a list you can go to and see what's trending. It's just you scroll through the videos it's not on the explore page, it's on the reels page, and then you can borrow people's audio. But it's a little symbol, like an up facing arrow and an incline. And that just shows you that that's trending right now. And if I can apply it to steno, I will, or I'll save it and try to think of something while it's trending, because trends fade, right? So something might be trending for a couple of weeks, but in a month, no one's really using that audio anymore. So every audio clip that I use isn't necessarily trending, but some audio clips are just too good not to use. Because who knows, it could be trending later. Just because it's not trending now doesn't mean it won't trend later. So
if you ever did like a webinar or class on how to create reels, I would be the first to sign up and to pay a fee, because I suck at it. So a few last month or so, like, I was trying to do that one challenge where you change into something with the song. Is I don't know the song, but you change into different outfits like every second. So I had all of my steno shirts that are on my site, and I thought it would be cool to just, it was a disaster, and I just said, forget it, I give up. And so there's no video, right? You have all of these
Mm-hmm.
pictures of me in the shirt, but it was just an epic fail. So kudos to you for doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
And so you are reaching new prospects that are interested, and you're referring them to introductory programs as well.
Yes.
I'm
sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say I've had like a few people contact me on like different platforms just to ask about schools, or I'll tell them, I know there are a couple of free intro to steno programs just to give them a better understanding. Do people follow up? At this point, to be honest, I get a lot of messages. So sometimes it's hard for me to even try to follow up. So unless someone does send me another message, then I can see where they stand. I can't say if a lot of people have followed up. But I mean, all I can do is keep putting out content, because as long as they're following me, it's going to be on their brain. But I know that sometimes the access to programs in schools is the obstacle. So, as we go through life, and hopefully more schools and programs open up and more awareness is spread, then it wouldn't be such a huge obstacle,
Right. So for the students that are tuning in, what advice can you offer those that are just discouraged? We have so many students that, I'm at 225, I can't do this, I'm going to quit and come back in a few years. Or you may have a student at 80 words per minute. It's not clicking. What advice can you offer to any students that may be tuning in?
My biggest piece of advice always is to reach out. I always say, like, the steno community is so huge and so motivating. And I feel like court reporters love to encourage court reporters. So it's like, I don't even know how to say it besides it's such a strong bond in the court reporting community. Like, we've all been there. Whether you're a working reporter already, you had to get through school. If you're at 225, you had to get past 80 words per minute also. If you're at 80, you had to get through theory. So I feel like there's always someone to reach out to if you know where to go. Like, people DM me all the time saying that they're, it's so hard, or I'll put up a video and they're like, thank you for this. And I know as a working reporter, it's easier to say because I'm already here, I'm working already. But it's not like I signed up for court reporting school and then got a job the next week. I had to go through school also. So I know it's hard. I know speed building is like the hardest thing on the planet, but it's attainable. So I say focus on the goal. Like, your goal is to finish school and to start working. To get there, you have to practice. So you have to find ways to to increase your speed, try different methods, but reach out. Like, don't give up. Like, reach out and find someone who can keep you motivated to keep going. That's my biggest piece of advice.
Awesome. That is amazing advice. Real quick, to brief or not to brief? Do you write out or do you brief?
Oh my God. If I never had to write anything out, that would make my day. That the problem is that I don't have a brief for every word. I actually just made a reel about this because I think I did it yesterday. I want to brief everything. So when I get a 4-syllable word that I don't have a brief for, it drives me crazy. But I never write it down to then come up with a brief for it. It just, I write it and then I move on to the other words that I have a brief for the rest of the testimony or the rest of the opening or whatever I'm working on. So briefing is my favorite thing to do. But, I don't use my asterisk either. So I feel like I'm going to try to incorporate that. I've been saying this forever that I'm going to start using it, but I haven't yet. Just being honest.
What theory are you on?
So I just found out because I've been asked this question since the beginning of me starting my IG profile, and I never knew the answer. I could not remember. Apparently I did Sten Ed theory, but I've incorporated so many other things over the course of my career as far as how I write things that, my theory isn't 100%. Well, my theory is my theory. So yes, Sten Ed, but I've adapted my writing over the years. I'll say that.
Right. Okay. Speaking, so with motherhood, so you have a daughter. Is she interested in steno?
I wish. I mean, fortunately, she's only 9. Like, she just turned 9 in the 12th. But I'll say no, not at all. Currently, not bone in her body wants to do steno, but now that they're back in school, I'm so thankful for
Mm-hmm.
that. They're not remote. So she's taking music and she takes piano.
Oh.
So she recently got a keyboard from her godmother. I'm so grateful. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that somehow that ties together, because I don't bring my machine home, as I mentioned earlier. So she doesn't really see me working on it, but she did see me
Mm-hmm.
working on it during the pandemic. But she never really, she associated with me having to work. Like, I can't do whatever she wants to do at the moment because I'm working. But now that I'm
Right.
back in the building, she's back in school, I'm hoping the keyboard, steno machine, somehow it links, and she's just like, I want to do that. So we'll see. We'll see.
Right. And shout out to the piano lessons. That's amazing. How do you
Yes.
balance work life and mom life? Do you have a system in place?
I don't have a system at all. To be completely honest, it was hard while I was freelancing. So when I started in the career, freelancing was easy in a sense, because if I couldn't work, I couldn't work. But
Mm-hmm.
it was also tough because you do all of your work at home. And I had an infant and then a toddler, and it's difficult to balance at that point. As an official, I find it way easier. She's also older. So
Mm-hmm.
she's way more independent. And I have a lot of time currently at the job to do transcripts if I need to do transcripts. But
Mm-hmm.
let's say I had to do them at home, she's old enough that she will do something else while I'm working on a transcript. So there are a lot of factors that, affect how your work-life balance will be. Fortunately, well, I don't know if I want to say fortunately, but I only have one child, so I don't have to divide my attention so much. And like I said, she's 9. It depends on your circumstances. So to answer your question, I don't have a system at all. I wing it every day.
Right, good for you. And you guys also have a few TikTok videos out there. I love the one where you guys did the one with it was for her birthday and she was like to the
Yes.
front and you were the back and you guys did like the Pee Wee Herman. I thought that was just so cute. You know which one I'm
Yes.
talking about? Yep.
I
Yep.
do. That was for her birthday. That was for her 8th birthday. So currently, I think she's at the age where I'm not as cool as I used to be. So we do not do TikToks together anymore. But I do show her my court reporter TikToks and she really likes them. So some of them she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't understand because it's so court reporter focused. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes she's like, there's too many words. I'm not reading that. So she does like some of them. Some of them she does laugh at. And I think she actually thinks it's cool that people like my videos. I had a couple that have gone viral and she thinks I'm famous. So
Oh.
maybe she'll start thinking I'm cooler again one day. We'll see.
Right. Yes, you are so cool. For anyone that may want to start using social media to promote the profession, what advice can you offer? Are you just on Instagram and Facebook? Do you have Twitter or Snap or any other platforms?
Well, I've always been on Facebook and Instagram, and then someone
Mm-hmm.
suggested I go on to TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I I'm very active on Instagram and Facebook, and then I tend to just put my videos up on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But my advice, I don't have Twitter or any of the other ones, by the way, just to put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
But my advice for anyone who wants to start, I would say build your following. Like, that's the main thing with social media. You have to have people that are looking at your stuff. So I would say follow other reporters, people following reporters, liking reporter posts, things like that. That's how I started out, because you don't
Mm-hmm.
want everyone follow. I mean, it would be great if everyone followed me, but you don't just want to follow people that are not interested in what you're doing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just to have followers for the sake of followers, to me, there's no point to that. So I
Right.
say find a way to relate to potential followers so that they engage in your content and follow you back. That's the key. So you want people to comment on your post. You want people to share your post. So you have to be relatable. You have to be likable. You have to be
Mm-hmm.
original. You have to be creative. Like, you don't just want to like recreate things that other people are putting up, because that's boring. So
Right.
you just have to find your way, but you have to find a way for people to want to keep coming back and looking at your content. But that's the advice. Just be yourself and be creative, and whoever likes you is going to like you. Like, they're going to follow you for you.
Right. And you are doing an amazing job. We really, really appreciate you. What's next for Stephanie?
Well, obviously Supreme. So I'm going to start work soon in Supreme Court. And interestingly enough, I'm not sure if I'm going to really what I'm going to do with it. But I was looking into teaching like the A to Z course. I know they have an option for that. I looked into it, but
Oh.
I have to look into it a little more because I was, you have to like, you don't supply the steno machines, but there is more to it than just being like, guys, I'm teaching the alphabet. So I was looking into that. A couple people also have asked me like, do I mentor? And I was just like, I know I want to do it all, but it's all about time
Mhm.
management. Also, I'm like, I would love to help students get through school, but it's a big time commitment. So I'm considering that. As we're talking about steno in the city, I want to attend every conference I can next year. So that's definitely in my plans for 2022. The Orlando
Right.
conference for NCRA, I definitely plan on being there. And just, also trying to come up with more products. I have my Life in Steno,
Yes.
my second page, kind of like a sub page of this one where I have
Mhm.
keychains, I have calendars. I'm trying to like find original things that I've never seen that are court reporter related,
Mhm.
that are fun, that are
Yes.
cute. So I'll work on, sorry, I'll work on that. And then just getting my RMR. So those are
Right.
my short-term goals, and hope maybe eventually I'll get my RDR. I'm sure if I do the RMR, I'll just might as well get the final one. So
Right.
that's like my 1 year timeline. I don't even know what's next in the next few years for me, but we'll start with that.
Oh my goodness. So I think you would be just amazing with the A to Z. We'll talk offline because that is, oh girl, I think you would be so amazing doing the A to Z. And of course, everything else that you mentioned, but the A to Z, you will
Mm-hmm.
nail it. So can you also tell the people, because you created your page, you created a second page, where is the site? If they want to go, I have your calendar and I have the keychains. I love the phrase. Um, you can sit with us. I
Yes,
love,
thank
love,
you.
love, love, love that because that is a powerful message. At a time like this, we need to continue to unify um, our profession and not be divided. And that's what I'm all about, is bringing us together. And I love that keychain. So if anyone wanted to get the calendar or the keychains or future products from you, what's the email, the website that they can go to?
Well, you can go to www.mylifeinsteno.com, or I also have my IG page, which is at mylifeinsteno. And for now, I have the two products. I have the desk calendar in steno, so it flips through. It's currently 16 months. As the year comes to a close, I may cut it down to just the 12 months for 2022.
Mm-hmm.
But I had always been looking for something like that and could never find it. So I said, hey, let me just make it. And then I love keychains. I collect them. When I go
Right.
away, when I go on vacation, I buy magnets and keychains. So I was like, why
Mm-hmm.
not keychains? So I always have about the wheels turning in my head. So I hopefully have more fun things coming up in the next year. But yeah, My Life in Steno, that's the name of the company. Or I guess it's me technically. But that's where you can go to
Yes.
find court reporting goodies.
I love it. I love it. In closing, do you have any words or advice that you would like to offer to the profession?
Yes, I mean, as far as people in the profession, I say brag about what we do. Brag, brag, brag. I feel like we are amazing. We're like magicians, even we're skilled, we're trained, and we do something that literally most people in the world cannot do. So I say, tell the world, encourage people to consider it as a career. It's tough, but it's so rewarding when you finish. Get involved in the field. I know it took me getting my RPR to get to this point, but get involved. It's so fun when you can network with people that do what you do and can relate and love what they do as well. So, I mean, we're not going anywhere as long as we increase our presence and awareness of what we do and people realize our
Right.
value. Just put it out there all the time wherever you go. Your shirts, by the way, I wear all the time. I go to the
Thank
supermarket in the steno
you.
shirts. I go to the bank in my steno shirts. It's like my go-to shirts, and I have so many styles. So it's so great. So I just wanted to say that
Yes.
too.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you supporting me too. You are so
Yes.
amazing. Again, thank you so much. We have some, collabing to do in the future once I get that whole timeline and everything just organized. So I thank you for doing this. Right? Because
it's a lot going on. Yeah, it is.
Right.
But it's exciting. It's exciting because
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, when has it ever been like, I mean, I don't know, but it's exciting for me now. So
yes. Again, just, my main thing is steno is in my blood. So when I started all of this, the things that that I started, all we did was just school, work, conventions, annual conventions, and that's it. So I knew it was time to shake some things up and add value and get people excited about our profession. And I've never seen just so many people. And again, I know I'm still fairly new. I'm not like 10 years or 30, 40 years in the game. But what I'm seeing a shift of greatness, a shift of people just being positive and excited about the profession again. We have a long way to go, but this is a start. So yes, Stephanie, again, I would like to thank you so much, girl. I will be in touch.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm excited to be on here.
You're welcome. Continue to do what you're doing. You are definitely adding value and just letting, the world know that steno is here to stay and we're not going anywhere. I would like to take the time out to thank everyone that is supporting this podcast. This podcast was designed just for you. Without you, this would not be possible. So I thank you. In closing, I would like to remind you that you are the highly skilled stenographer. No one outside of the steno community can take the power that you have. You are fearless, you are strong, you are powerful, and no one do your job better than you. Again, you have so much power. And just keep holding on. You have all the cards, and we're going to continue to just make our profession amazing. Until next time, stay encouraged and motivated. Good night.